to respond to the DA's criticism of President Cyril Ramaphosa's statement on his Russian counterpart. Let's speak now to ANC First Deputy Secretary General, but in this instance, she is the chairperson of the ANC's Subcommittee on International Relations. Nomvula Mokonyane, good evening to you. You were listening to Emma Powell from the DA, and she's clear that the president's words, particularly as it regards trade relations, we may jeopardize that, particularly with the Western world, some of the countries in Europe. Are you not worried?
Thank you very much, Oli, and good evening to the viewers. Firstly, I think we want to reiterate that the DA retains its has a right to maintain its individual foreign policy position. Secondly, that historically we have been known as an ally, as the African National Congress of the Communist Party of Russia, as well as having binational relationships with the current government of Russia. Thirdly, we are also known as one of those countries through President Cyril Ramaphosa that was the first to go into Ukraine and meet with the president of Ukraine, as well as facilitating engagements that led to the release of those that were actually taken out of Ukraine, and we continue to call for mediation and finding an everlasting solution. It is also unfortunate that a person of a Minister of Agriculture who knows very well that our own farmers in South Africa have an appetite and are yearning to have access to the Russian markets would want to speak out against a foreign policy of the South African government, something that is not a precondition of a government of national unity.
Yeah.
It is what has been resolved and agreed that foreign policy, as well as issues of defense, rest with the head of state, and in this case with the president.
Well,
we are also
let me quickly interject there, Ms. Mokonyane. Let me interject there. I'm sorry for this because of time constraints. The DA says it seems that you are forgetting that you are no longer a one-party state or a party, political party that governs rather on its own. And so all of this, what the president is saying, needs discussion within the GNU fold. Do you at least agree with them on that?
It seems like the DA forgets what is contained in the statement of intent, including the areas that bring all of us together. We refuse to be pushed to a situation where everything becomes a subject of the GNU. It is not. Foreign policy remains. It is also explicitly tabulated in the statement of intent.
So,
and therefore,
so what does that mean? I just want to get your words clearly. Foreign policy is the preserve of the ANC. Is that what you are saying?
Foreign policy remains that is contained in policies of the South African government, led by the African National Congress under the government of national unity. There is no review of any foreign policy. What is actually being assessed is how best we can implement foreign policy in the best interest of South Africans, such as access to the markets in Russia, such as taking advantage of being part of the BRICS community. It's a pity that he has been left behind. I'm sure he would have communicated the same as he did when he was part of a delegation to China. But typical of the DA, they seem to assume that they have the right to micromanage these processes.
Well, I have to take you up on that last part. I have to take you up on that last element. Are you saying that he refused to go to Russia? Was he meant to be part of the delegation?
I'm saying it's a pity that he's not part of the delegation, because we saw how he was so excited jumping around when they were in China. And in this instance, he's not part of a delegation and he's watching the proceedings from a distance like me, and he then wants to become relevant. It is unfortunate. The world knows what the government of national unity is all about. South Africans understand we need to access as many markets as possible without undermining any other trade relationship that we have.